On January 8th, 2026, something happened out on the open ocean, something that sent shockwaves across the entire globe. And honestly, it could redefine international relations as we know them. So let's break down exactly what went down. So is this it? Have the world's superpowers really come to the brink of war? I mean, that's the question on everyone's mind, right? The US just made a super direct, super provocative move against Russia. The stakes, they couldn't be higher. So what exactly happened? And are we watching the first moves of a new global conflict? This is it. This is the headline that basically stopped the world in its tracks. In a stunning show of force, the US Navy intersected and took control of two commercial vessels sailing under the Russian flag. Look, this isn't some proxy conflict or diplomatic slap on the wrist. This is a direct seizure of another superpower's assets on the high seas. A huge deal. And when you dig into the details, you see just how calculated this whole thing was. This wasn't one isolated incident. Nope. The Bella 1 was grabbed in the North Atlantic, while the MT Sophia was taken all the way over in the Caribbean. A coordinated, two-pronged operation. And it all became official when Russian authorities confirmed it. They'd lost all contact with their vessels. The confrontation was on. And let's be clear, this was no random act. Not at all. Sources are saying the U.S. had been tracking one of these ships, the Bella 1, for over a month. They'd even tried to seize it earlier and failed. After that, the ship's name was changed, but apparently it couldn't shake U.S. surveillance. So yeah, this was not some spur-of-the-moment decision. It was a carefully planned, calculated move. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Why? Why would the U.S. risk a direct showdown with a nuclear power over a couple of ships? I mean, openly provoking a rival like Russia is a massive, massive risk. Seizing commercial vessels, that's a line major powers just don't cross very often. There has to be a much bigger strategy at play here. And the answer? Well, it starts right here. It's not really just about Russia. It's about what was on those ships. The cargo, Venezuelan oil. That's the key. This U.S. action wasn't just sending a message to Moscow. It was a direct intervention in the flow of South America's most valuable resource. And this number? 30 to 50 million. That's the prize. According to the statements we're seeing, the new caretaker government in Venezuela is about to provide the United States with 30 to 50 million barrels of high-quality oil. So you see, this isn't just a seizure. It's part of a huge resource acquisition plan. And then, boom, we got confirmation straight from the top. In a post on Truth Social, Donald Trump just laid out the whole plan in plain English. He said, and I'm quoting here, "This oil will be sold at its market price and the money will be controlled by me. The goal? To be used for the better interests of the Venezuelan and American people." I mean, the economic motive could not be any clearer. But here's the thing you have to understand. This is bigger than just one oil deal. Way bigger. What this incident really does is signal a fundamental shift in how America plans to deal with the rest of the world. This is the first major demonstration of a brand new, very assertive U.S. foreign policy. And the philosophy behind it all was spelled out pretty bluntly by Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. He basically said the era of being nice is over. America's new mission statement, in his words, is only strength, force, and power. It's a crystal clear signal that the U.S. plans to be the one setting the terms and conditions on the global stage, period. People are already calling this the power doctrine. And what is it really? It's a foreign policy that's all about the unilateral use of military and economic muscle to get what you want to achieve national interests. It's about replacing that traditional old-school diplomacy with direct action. Okay, but a doctrine is just a bunch of words unless you have the power to actually back it up. Right? So how can the U.S. just act with this kind of, well, impunity in the region? The answer, when you look at the numbers, is a staggering imbalance of power. It all starts with money. Of course it does. The U.S. defense budget is almost $900 billion. Let's put that in perspective. Major regional players, like Mexico, they spend about $7 billion. Venezuela, just $4 billion. The financial gap it's just immense. And all that money translates directly into hardware and people. The U.S. has 1.4 million active personnel. That's more than Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, and Cuba combined. It's got over 13,000 aircraft compared to just a few hundred for its neighbors. And here's the real kicker. Over 440 modern naval assets. If you combine the entire navies of all those other countries, they have a grand total of two. There's just no comparison. So here's the crucial takeaway. This whole strength, force, and power doctrine, it's not a bluff. It is built on an undeniable, overwhelming military reality. And that's what allows the US to act with a level of freedom that's pretty much unmatched in the region and, maybe the entire world. But an action this big, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. As the United States flexes its muscles so directly, the rest of the world has to react. They're being forced to adapt, to choose sides, to form new alliances. A whole new global chessboard is being set up right in front of our eyes. And you can already start to see the major lines being drawn. It looks like two distinct blocks are forming. On one side, you've got this growing partnership between India, Israel, the UAE, and, get this, even Russia. And on the other side, a bloc is coming together around Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, China, and Turkey. This isn't just about trade deals, folks. This is a massive strategic realignment. And this isn't just theory, it's not just speculation. We are seeing it happen on the ground. For example, India's prime minister recently talked about strengthening the strategic relationship with Israel. At the exact same time, there are reports that an Israeli military presence of about 800 soldiers is now stationed in the UAE, which has, you can imagine, drawn some serious concern from Saudi Arabia. These are the real-world moves of alliance building. So what does all of this mean? It means the old world order, the post-Cold War consensus that we've all known for decades, it's fracturing, it's breaking apart. The lines are being redrawn, and it seems like the old rules just don't apply anymore. And that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? The seizure of two tankers might seem like a single, isolated event, but really, it's a symptom of a much, much larger shift. As America rolls out its doctrine of strength, force, and power, a new global competition has officially kicked off. So the question we're left with is which one of these new global alliances is going to be the one to shape the 21st century?